Welcome to the explainer. So when does a simple statement in a negotiation actually become a legally binding promise? Today, we're going to pinpoint that exact line, where an expert's words turn into an ironclad contract.
Okay, so picture this. You're eyeing your absolute dream car. The dealer, who's an expert, swears it has the original engine. So can you actually hold them to that? Or is it just, sales talk? This is exactly where contract law draws a really, really important line.
So when does a statement like that become part of the deal? It's one of those fundamental questions that trips so many people up. And honestly, the answer can make or break the entire deal.
Okay, so let's look at the options here. When you've got an expert making a statement to someone with, less knowledge, what does the law actually say happens? Just take a second and think about it. Which one of these feels right to you? We're going to break it all down and find the definitive answer.
All right, so to get to the right answer, we've got to unpack this really powerful legal idea it's designed specifically for this exact kind of situation, this imbalance of expertise.
So here's the core idea, and it's pretty fascinating. The law doesn't just hear the words on their own. Nope. It looks at who is doing the talking. And when an expert is talking to a non-expert, that's when the rules kind of shift, and the law starts paying very close attention.
And this is where it gets really interesting. We're not just talking about some abstract theory here, right? This stuff has actually been tested in court. There's this famous case where a car dealer told a buyer that a Bentley had only done 20,000 miles since getting a new engine. Turns out, that was totally false. It was closer to 100,000. So what happened? Well, the court decided that because the dealer was an expert, their statement wasn't just some casual opinion. Nope, it was a binding term of the contract. That's the key. Their expertise gave their words real, legal weight.
Okay, so now that we have the greater knowledge principle in our back pocket, let's circle back to those options we looked at earlier and use it to figure out the right answer. This is where it all clicks into place.
Okay, first up, let's tackle this idea of puff. You see, puffery is just that. It's hype. It's subjective. You can't really prove it. It's just sales talk. But think about our car dealer. They made a specific, factual claim, right? It's something you can actually check. It's either true or it's false. So yeah, we can totally rule out the idea that this is just puff.
All right, next up is that common myth that everything has to be in writing to count. And look, while getting things in writing is always a smart move, it's just not always legally required. Verbal statements, especially when they come from an expert, can absolutely become binding parts of a contract. So let's go ahead and cross that one right off our list.
Okay, so we've gotten rid of the puff option and the in-writing myth. What are we left with? Basically, two complete opposites. And given that the law specifically recognizes the power dynamic here, the expert's superior knowledge, it's becoming pretty clear which way this is going, isn't it? The idea that their statement is unlikely to be a binding term, that just doesn't square with the whole principle at all.
And that brings us to the correct answer. The crucial point is this. Because that car dealer has specialized knowledge, expertise that you don't, the law holds them to a much higher standard. That means their factual statement is way more likely to be treated as a binding part of the actual deal. And it means that you, as the buyer, are totally entitled to rely on what they say.
So, what does this all mean for you? Because this isn't just some dusty legal theory, right? This is a practical tool. It's something that can give you a real edge the next time you're negotiating a deal.
Let's talk about the real-world impact here. What this principle really does is it levels the playing field. It empowers you, it protects you from claims that might be misleading, and it makes sure that when an expert speaks, their words actually carry real weight. It basically turns their statements from just talk into solid, reliable promises.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's actually pretty simple. The next time you're making a deal, don't just listen to what's being said. Pay really close attention to who is saying it. Asking yourself, wait a minute, who holds the greater knowledge here? That isn't just a good question to ask. Honestly, it could be the key to unlocking the entire deal.